Welcome back to another episode of the LeisureHub Podcast. Thank you very much for joining us. Today, we have a juicy episode. I am your co-host, Pedro Madera, and your host,
Justin?
Is it Justin? I don't remember.
Look, bro, we're I changed it in the last couple of podcast recordings. We're just hosts now. You're not the co-host, you're just the host.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I moved up in life.
You messed up.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm your host, Pedro Madera, along with my host,
James Franco. Welcome James Franco, everybody. Hello, anyway, Justin Watson.
Justin Watson. Today we have a juicy episode, and we gonna talk about size does matter when it comes to games.
Of course, because you and I both know that being a short king, nothing's wrong with being a short king.
Okay. Who said?
And
okay.
And most. Never mind. Keep going.
And what?
Nothing.
What are you gonna say?
Nope. I'll leave it up for suspense. Now you guys will never know.
Damn, that's messed up, bro. I hate when people do that.
You love suspense.
I do.
Your nipples are fully erect.
They always are.
That's weird.
That is not weird at all. It means that I'm cold, but I'm not. I don't know.
Cold-hearted?
No. Well, size does matter when it comes to games. What do we mean by that?
What do we mean by that?
No, I'm asking you.
Yeah. But I'm like answering the question by like saying, what does it mean?
Oh, you know what I mean? One of those.
I'm getting metaphorical. No, I'm kidding. Metaphorical? Philosophical?
Philosophical.
Yeah, it was what I was aiming for, but I said metaphorical instead.
It's okay.
Well, what we're talking mainly about today
is the size of a game.
Is the size of a game. And like this includes open world games. This includes like the scale of a game, how many features, how many game modes,
how long it is,
the multiplayer, the co-op, the storyline, all that jazz.
Everything.
Yeah.
Just how big a game is in general.
Honestly, I think games are getting too big. There, you know the saying like, "Oh, this company's too big to fail," or "This thing's too big to fail," right?
Yes.
I think games are at a point where they are. I would go in reverse and say that they are so big that they are failing. You feel me?
Amen to that.
Yeah. And so like we are having, and I say we as gamers unite, bro. We're having this like this issue where these developers are basically creating like a development crisis. Do you know what I mean?
Is it the developers though, or is it because like it's so big of a company that they're being, put against the wall from these by these like executives,
oppressors?
Exactly.
No, okay.
You know what I mean? It's like they find out that they can make more money this way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And obviously what suffers? The development team, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I think these games are very ambitious, right? Yeah. Like we talked about this kind of idea in a few other episodes, but like creating a new IP or a new title in the gaming industry is extremely difficult because it's a gamble, right? The chances of it working out is like a 50-50. You're coming out with a new title that people don't really know about. Which is also why a lot of companies or a lot of game companies or game studios will create part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 iterations of the game. I mean, or even at the very least, they stick with the one game for like 10 years. I mean, look at Destiny too.
Yeah,
that game has been around. I mean, since
2017, I think.
2017.
That's 7 years.
Yeah. That's a really long time. And
wow.
Like, you think about it, right? The development time that it takes to make a game now is insane. It's like you're spending anywhere from 5 to almost 10 years to develop a game.
That's a big time, and big time for big game too.
Yeah.
What causes it? Do you think that is the cause for the game to be perceived as either too lengthy or too much content that people like? I guess the cause for fatigue in gaming.
All right. Well, think about it. Right. Think about the development time for Cyberpunk 2077. I know Cyberpunk has been beaten like a dead horse.
It has.
But even oh my god, I just lost it. There was another game that had Skull and Bones, and that even Skull and Bones has had like it's been pounded into the ground by reviewers and gamers of all, but like the amount of time that both of those games were in development was an extremely long time.
Yeah,
and even when specifically Cyberpunk came out, the game still wasn't finished. The game was in development for almost 10 years, and the game still wasn't finished.
Oh.
Skull and Bones took right around the same amount of time, or not 10 years.
Skull and Bones, I think that was announced around 2017, so it's like 7 years.
It's getting close, but like that's kind of what we mean. But with development crisis, it's like you spend all this time and money on building this giant game, or this game that's gonna be your next thing, your breadwinner, so to speak, and the game fails because personally I feel like smaller games have a better direction of where they're going.
I agree, but I feel like that's because they don't have the budget of these big companies.
Ubisoft, they made Skull and Bones. I mean, they have the budget.
No. I'm saying you're saying the smaller companies. The smaller companies, like, they do better. And I think just because I don't think they have the budget of these big companies, meaning it's like we were talking about in our past episodes of like, you're a pro, okay, but sometimes you can do, that doesn't make you a pro just because you have big budgets, just because you have big equipment doesn't make you
just because you have big equipment.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make you a pro. Something, you could be an artist and make crazy good stuff with the little that you can find.
Yeah. So
what I mean to say here is that these big companies have big budgets, and with big budgets means you're almost scared to lose money.
I like big budgets, and I cannot lie. Okay.
Yeah. So you're scared to lose money. I mean, I'm trying to find like a reasonable excuse. I'm trying to justify.
You're empathizing
the atrocity of games that we have nowadays.
Yeah.
So I feel like the only excuse would be you're scared to lose money, so you're going with what you think is going to work, quote unquote, and you do it as fast as you can to not pay your developers.
Right, but like the as fast as you can go, like I said earlier, is like 5 to 7 years. That's the development time. Like the development time to make Crash Bandicoot, the first one, the second one, to the third one, bro, people, they were spending like, I mean, no, it's different times, different graphical points, different technical points where we're at then versus now. But like the amount of time that it took them to make a game, the second game, it was like 2 years. Yeah. Or even, sometimes it was even within the same year to make the second one.
Yeah.
Like, so time crunch has always been a big thing in games. If anything, it's gotten worse. Now you're literally crunching for 5 years. Time crunching for 5 years. That's exhausting,
that must
bro.
Be hell.
It's so exhausting.
That must be hell.
I mean, you've heard the term games are stuck in development hell, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's there was a game that came out.
Skull and Bones definitely
100%
had some of that. And I think some developers came out and said something about it too, where they're some days they would not know what to do.
Yeah.
Just straight up.
There was a game that was showcased in like E3 early PlayStation 4 era, right? Like before the PlayStation 4 came out. It was with a talking pig. It was a very futuristic. There was a talking monkey with guns. I can't remember what it's called.
I don't remember that.
But basically it was a remake of an older game that came out, maybe like PS2 era. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. But if I find it, it'll go up right there. That game was announced over 10 years ago. Nothing.
Never came out.
They showed a trailer. Quiet. Showed nothing.
I wonder if they shut it down.
They haven't said anything else. They haven't shut it down. It's been quiet. And there's a couple other games I watched. I was watching Game Ranks. Shout out to Game Ranks. They did a whole list of games that were announced and they're just dead. They're quiet. Like they haven't canceled the game. They haven't said anything about it. It's just sitting.
I like their lists.
Yeah,
they have a lot of lists.
Their lists are really good. But I think a lot of the development crisis that we have is created by player expectations.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. I mean, player expectations, that kind of means that we want more and more and more, better,
faster,
but
stronger. I mean, I'm not joking. I am joking, but I'm
no, it's true. But isn't that what we're supposed to do?
What do you mean?
I mean, shouldn't you expect better? I mean, if you're making a next generation console, this motherfucker be better. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm spending my money, for you to be better. If not, you guys should have just stayed with the PS4. I'm trying to play the devil. I'm trying to play the devil's advocate.
Yeah, I mean, I think I understand what you're trying to say, but like, but that's where the expectations come in, right? It's like, yeah, you and I both want a game to be good. Like that's like, I think any gamer can say that they want a game to be good. Like that's like a general consensus. But I think the biggest issue with player expectation is like, I want a game in 2 years. That'll never happen in today's standard, unless it's like an indie game. And even like indie games because they don't have enough people, it still takes them a couple of years to make the game. But it's like people are expecting these they're expecting like an Elden Ring, or they're expecting a Helldivers 2, or whatever variation of a game that popped off, Spider-Man even, to be in a short amount of time with 40 to 50 hours of gameplay. Like you know what I'm trying to say?
In
like
a small amount of time.
Yeah, in a small amount of time, and like they want the budget to be low, and then they want the price to be low, and it's like none of that is going to happen. Mm-hmm. It's like the demand for games is higher than it ever has been before.
Facts. I mean, I feel like ever since 2020.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with that.
It's just going up and up and up. And I mean, the times that we're living in too, like look at all the layoffs that's been happening around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to make it even harder. That's what I mean. When I told you earlier that I feel depressed every time I look at the game aisle or even the PlayStation store to see what new games are coming out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I do feel depressed because, I mean, and not like I'm really depressed, but you're frustrated.
You're depressed. You're stressed. You're losing your hair over it.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So yeah, I get frustrated when I see the games not that the games are coming out, but the lack of games that I usually yearn for are not there. There's just the studios that I look forward to. Guess what? They're doing another remake. Mm-hmm. Oh wow, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of frustrating. And then looking at the future going forward, they're laying off all these people. So what to expect? Mm-hmm. I don't think there's not too many expectations
from a gamer.
From a gamer, yeah.
No, I disagree.
Why?
You're spending $70.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's part of like this big issue, right? Mm-hmm. Like the you have games that cost $70. People are buying these games that cost more than they did last generation, and they're half finished. Yeah. The games are half finished. They're half baked. There's bugs. There's errors. And then people don't play that. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like all of this, all of those factors are like, you can't pump out a $70 game and say, you know what, we're going to ship this game half-assed and we'll fix the game later. People are tired of buying a $70 game, $60 to $70 game, and it showing up broken on their console.
Yeah. And
then the players are getting burned every time. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get what you mean.
And so like
it's almost a good thing that is, we kind of have to go through this pain in order to grow.
Exactly. Yep. And but on the other side of the spectrum, it's like players, the gamers, like the demand for them is so high. It's like it's kind of hard. It's this weird balancing act, right? Like you have these developers who have these short time constraints of trying to make a game that's going to, one, make them money. Yeah. Two, is going to make their player base happy, and the three are going to make the investors happy in a short amount of time. And then on the other hand, you have these gamers who are like, like I said earlier, getting burned on buying a $70 game. it's a lot of stuff. It's a big juggling act, and like I don't think it's unreasonable for gamers to expect a game to be delivered digitally or to their front doorstep working in perfect condition. In air quotes, perfect condition. There's going to be some bugs and whatever,
right?
But like the game should work, the game should function, and like this part this really triggers me. But it's like there used to be a point where when you got the game that you got was it. There was no updates. There were no bug fixes.
Good times
/ bad times, because if you got a game, it was done.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like there's this weird time where it's like, hey, we got to get the game out. We'll ship it out. It's broken, but we'll fix it later.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no. Now you're like you're running into No Man's Sky type of thing, right? Where like the game comes out and it's nowhere near what you promised because the game was too big.
Right.
And then
the game was too big.
The game was way too big. It had nothing in it. They didn't have half of what they promised.
I mean, the game was supposed to. That's something they did promise. But I'm saying the game was too big, but it was like none of the content that they promised was in the game.
Right, but that's what I mean.
Mostly,
but they had this huge ambition.
Yeah.
Right, and this whole huge goal, and they couldn't deliver on it.
Yeah,
because the game was too big. And so like now, like, you know, gamers are being more selective and choosy with the games that they're buying. Like, aren't you being a little bit more selective with what you're buying?
Big time. Like I'm trying to buy like $12 games or something, like, because I'm kind of skeptical. I kind of wait till they drop to $40, $30.
Right.
And maybe even if they tell me it's good, you know what I mean? Like I like to wait a little bit and spend a little less cash. And then, if I find out it's good, $40 for this deal.
Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many games I bought expecting it to be good and then it just wasn't, or how many games I bought expecting it to be like, I'm getting a game and I get to play it. Like, no, I got a game and I had it and it ended up breaking, or like there were so many bug fixes or whatever. So
now what do you think is going to distinguish, and I asked this for myself too, like what distinguishes a game? Like what makes a game like an individual, it sticks out?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like from all the games, because, you know, a lot of these games, they're almost all the same.
Right.
They have kind of like the same template, and they kind of follow the same pattern on what to do, the how the game is laid out, how the story plays out. What distinguishes
is it burning your retinas?
Yeah,
the TV.
What distinguishes a game? Like what makes them stand out and unique?
That's a really hard question. I feel like game developers don't even know the answer to that question.
I know, but sometimes like some studios do pop into mind, and those studios are usually the ones I'm waiting for.
Yeah, but those studios that you're waiting for are also the studios that take 5 to 10 years.
Exactly, you're right. Yeah.
And so, like how games are now, I don't think it's sustainable. I mean, like you just said, the developer, the layoffs, right? You're telling me that the average time length to make a game in 2024 is 10 years, 5 to 10 years. How do you make money off of that?
I don't know.
But you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Earlier we were talking about whether, like, not earlier, but a couple days back, or even last week, do you think gaming is going to come to an end? Like, was I talking to you about that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It might have been my cousin, but we were talking about like, hey,
we look the same, don't we?
Yeah. Very alike. But no, for real. Like, should we be concerned? I know games are going to be forever, but should we be concerned? Should we say that the golden days of gaming are behind us? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. I think games are honestly, we're going through, like you kind of said this, touched on this a little bit too. Games are kind of going through like a growing pains type of thing right now. We're in this like weird transition stage between not only like physical games and digital games, but like you have these layoffs, you have the length of games increasing, like the time it takes to make a video game increasing. You have these bugs that are showing up on games like day one. You have patches and stuff like that. I think you have investors pulling out, game studios closing left and right. I don't think gaming's gonna die ever. Like, I think it'll always be around, but I do think that things need to change, because where we are now is not sustainable. No. Like $70 for a broken game, like no one's paying for that. No one. Like no one's gonna pay $60 or $40 for it. And like, yeah, maybe people will buy it like when you fix it up later down the road, like I said with No Man's Sky, or like maybe Cyberpunk or another game. But like the goal should entirely be, when the game hits the user or the player, it's just extra features from then on out.
Exactly. Whether it's free or I was always down with DLC, as long as it didn't feel like part of the game was taken out of it.
Right. Yeah. So I think, to answer your question more specifically, I think we are in this transition period. Something has to give, and like something has to give like for players, something has to give for players' expectations, something has to give for developers, for investors, for game producers, Sony and Microsoft. Something has to give, because like I said, none of it is sustainable.
Which makes me more depressed.
Yeah, because honestly, I want more games to be individual and unique.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, just like I said, like. But the thing is, those studios, like you said, those are the ones that usually take 5 to 10 years making a game. Now, it's almost like we wanted, like we were talking about earlier, we want games to be there. Like, every 2 years, get a good game. I even want that.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing these layoffs and stuff like that, even in Sony and Microsoft. Do you think that's going to continue, this individuality and uniqueness, even in bigger studios? I mean, because you can't deny that a lot of these layoffs are probably people that worked on many good games across the platforms.
You can see a big trend now where people are doing. We were talking about Soulsborne games, like Elden Ring came out, and then a whole bunch of like Elden Ring, Dark Souls-esque games started coming out, right? Yeah. You had Fortnite come out, and then you had a whole bunch of like Fortnite or battle royales coming out. You had PUBG was like the first one, then you had Fortnite, and then you had Apex, and Call of Duty was like, well, let's do a Warzone, and you know what I mean. And there was a Blackout, right? Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Black Ops 4.
Yeah, had Blackout.
That was kind of cool.
Graphics on that was awful ass.
On Black Ops 4?
Yeah, no, on the Blackout game mode.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of empty.
Yeah, it's empty. It was looked like trash. It just it's better now, like in like Warzone and everything like that. But you know, you have these new game models or player models, right? Where like they're trying to do. I feel like a news.
What's trending?
Yeah, I feel like a news anchor right now, bro. I feel like I'm like going off a huge rant. You know, usually
this is a rant.
Yeah, usually the ADHD kicks in and I'm making more jokes.
No, but we're ranting.
We're
stepping the foot down.
Should I joke a little bit more?
I mean, if you want to.
Are you wearing women's glasses?
Yeah. How you know?
It doesn't frame your face well. That's why.
Yeah, I am.
It's also lopsided.
Is it? It's probably because of the headphones, to be honest.
No.
It has to be.
It's not.
Oh, then it's probably lopsided.
But anyway. What were we talking about? I forgot. That's what happens when the ADHD kicks in. You don't remember what we're talking about.
We're talking, you feel like a news anchor because we're going off a rant.
Well, yeah. I mean, essentially. I mean, I feel like a news anchor because I mean, we're very passionate about video games, so we want them to succeed. Like I've said in multiple podcast episodes, it's like the gaming industry. It's a business. Like they're literally trying to create games that us as gamers will buy, and like to make a game individual, to make it unique. You know, the games that make the most unique shit, and it's the best thing ever.
What's that?
Indie games.
You think?
Those are they're always making the most like creative, unique things. Always.
I agree. Not up to maybe not as big and intricate as these AAA games, but yeah.
I mean, like you said, they don't have the budget for that, but like that's the beauty. We talked about this too in the one episode.
Yeah.
But we were talking about like working in the constraints of what you're given.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you have $100,000 to work with, you're gonna make a damn good game for $100,000, and you're gonna find a way to make it work.
Some of these indie games are ass, bro. Straight up.
No, they are.
Yeah, like I feel like 68% of them are ass,
68%. That's a pretty high number.
I have to, bro. They're ass.
That's, I don't know. Name a couple indie games that you played that were ass.
Huh?
Name a couple indie games that you played that were ass.
Bro, there's a literally there's you know those potato sack jumping
bags? Sack?
There's a simulator for that.
Oh, so you're thinking more of like shovelware though.
I mean, yeah.
I wouldn't consider shovelware indie.
No.
I mean, it's a smaller developer, but like they're not making it to actually be good. They're making it to make money, and it's like a little shovelware. And PlayStation,
they're
Xbox.
So bad with it. Like, anyways, go ahead. PlayStation and Xbox.
No. Are you saying the developers are bad with it, or like this company's allowing them?
Companies.
Yes, they're really. Nintendo.
Like, come on.
Nintendo was very strict about like what games are on their platform.
Yeah.
But then there's tons of shovelware and it's garbage. It's like you're
garbage, bro.
I don't understand. Like
garbage.
I don't understand. Like they're definitely individual and they're definitely unique. I mean. Have you heard of Cult of the Lamb?
No, but it seems pretty cool.
No, but it seems pretty cool. So you have seen it.
I've seen it. I mean, I haven't played it. I've seen it. You asked if I played it.
So I was looking for more games. Oh, sorry. I thought I asked if you saw it. My bad. So I was looking for some other examples for Victoria to see like other games that are related to Dave the Diver or like Stardew Valley to see if I could get her into some other games, right? And so like I was looking on Reddit and Cult of the Lamb was one of them that came up, and I watched the gameplay trailer for it because it's kind of like a Soulsy top down.
Yeah.
Type of game. And I was like, I remember seeing the trailer for it and I was like, that game doesn't catch my interest. But then I just watched the trailer on not too long ago. I was like, that game is kind of fire. I kind of like,
oh shit,
it kind of looks dope.
Really? Did you play it at all?
No. I haven't played it.
Okay.
But it caught my attention. You know what I mean?
The cover too. The cover looks pretty cool.
Yeah. But like that's kind of what I wanted to say is like these, you need to start. Indie games are making games like this that are different.
Yeah.
Have I talked to you about Plunky the Squire?
No.
Oh my god, bro! Pop it up right there. Plunky the Squire.
Yeah.
Such a unique game.
You played it?
No, it's not out yet. It's unreleased, but I saw a trailer. I'll have to show you the trailer. But essentially, the games you're playing in this picture book, like a children's picture book.
Yeah.
And so you're moving a character. He looks like, like the original Legend of Zelda. The original Legend of Zelda was only the not N64, the Super Nintendo or whatever.
Okay.
Like I mean like the classic ones, like the original OGs.
Okay.
So it's like a top-down angled scroller or whatever, and you're in a children's picture book, super colorful.
That's cool,
right? So you can move around, you're puzzle solving. It's like a Legend of Zelda game. Get this, bro. There's a portal that sometimes you'll need to pop out of the picture book, and now you're in a 3D space.
That's dope.
And so it's like a kid's room, obviously, because it's a kid's book. Yeah. You're in a kid's like room, and you can go in and out of this picture book.
It's creative,
right?
Very creative.
So it's also kind of like a Link Between Worlds, Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds, where have you ever played it on the 3DS? It's like it highly capitalizes on the 3D element of the 3DS, and so like you're like a little picture, and you can like go on the wall, and you can move side by side.
Oh shit! Yeah. I've seen
you can go in between cracks and stuff like that.
Yep.
Super Paper Mario is also very similar to that.
Yeah.
Where you're like going in between like 3D kind of to like a paper style.
Yep.
Like so, like this game, I'm telling you, bro. I fell in love with it.
What was it called?
It's called Plunky the Squire.
Well, I'll have to look for it,
bro. It's no release date. Not even like a general
Fingers
year.
Crossed.
Well, I'm hoping this game comes out because it looks so good. It like one of the games that like, and to me that game is like, that's unique. Like I think when you take an example of a game that already like like an idea that already exists, but you take that and you run with it and you go to the next level with it. That's what the Pluggy Squire did. Like Legend of Zelda and Paper Mario kind of already did that, but like it's doing it in a completely unique way.
Next level. And
Stop saying
and
sorry.
it's something that like companies with bigger budgets,
Yeah.
you would think that they have the manpower to do stuff like that,
Yeah.
and the money power to make it even crazy big.
See,
But I feel like they would just push microtransactions and shit like that, like
true.
to the fullest.
True. Well, I think honestly,
Macro transactions.
Macro, yeah. See, I think the biggest issue with like AAA studios is like they're always trying to make the most like realistic game. Have you noticed that? Like a AAA game.
Mm-hmm.
Like look at Uncharted, right? Uncharted, AAA game, great game. I'm not bad in any way, shape, or form. Give me another AAA Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they always do well. AAA game, but realism, right?
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, but it's like there's gotta be AAA games out there that are not realism.
Give me one.
I mean,
He's pulling out the phone. He's not a real gamer.
yeah, because all we play is that. I feel like most of that we play.
You're losing me, bro. You're losing me. I'm starting to think that there's not actually any AAA games that you can think of, or that
What about Diablo?
Diablo?
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider that a AAA game.
Ratchet and Clank?
It's not a AAA game.
What? Doom?
Doom's not a AAA game either. Bro, I'm just gonna say every single game you can think of is not a AAA game.
Like, bro. But yeah, you're right. Most of them are.
They capitalize on realism. Like Call of Duty, realism, Titanfall 2, realism, The Witcher, realism. I mean, it's fantasy, but like fantasy realism. But you know, the whole point is trying to make it like, I feel like that's what AAA games are going for. They're not going for like a Hollow Knight Inside.
Hollow Knight. Shit was good.
Yeah. Bro, the company name is the Yacht Club, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah. But like, when's the last game they made? What game was the
Hollow Knight 2? I think it's coming out.
Bro, I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think that's coming out. Yeah.
What's the one that was, it's a black and white, not Hollow Knight, it starts with a H. It's very inspired by that.
Hollow Knight.
Oh yeah, Hollow Knight. Sorry, I was thinking of the Knight game.
Shovel Knight?
I was thinking Shovel Knight for some reason.
That's inspired by Hollow Knight?
No. Anyway,
okay.
Anyway, I digress.
Okay.
I digress. But yeah, I mean, like, I feel like AAA game studios aren't making games like that, because I feel like there's a stigma behind those. At least like in the gaming industry, that is unspoken for like gamers. Like, I feel like the stigma is like a AAA game can't be one of those that type of game. It has to be this realism showcase of like the technology. I feel like that's what it has to be. And like, I feel like if a AAA game studio is making a game like Hollow Knight or Shovel Knight, and they're making it like massive, I guess. Yeah. I feel like that's like looked down upon. I feel like that they don't consider that a AAA game.
Are Nintendo games considered AAA?
Which ones?
Mario, bro.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know, but like I have to ask you. Mario, bro.
Mario.
Well, I mean, Legend of Zelda, yeah, but anything, I think
that's not realism.
No,
I guess it's just Nintendo.
Yeah, anything that looks, and Nintendo's, the thing with Nintendo is that they're not trying to compete with anybody. They're just doing their own thing. They kind of just.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, PlayStation sometimes tries to, they incorporate like knack, and there's the game called Bug Snacks.
Butts Ass?
Bug Snacks or something like that.
Butts and
I don't
ass?
know if they're AAA, but like, I don't know. They were pretty big in marketing.
I've never heard of
Knack
it.
2.
Oh, Knack. I've heard of
Knack.
Knack.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but I remember the first one. I thought the first one was really, really cool. Cool concept. Yep. Didn't do well. It was kind of missing story wise, was missing some elements. Gameplay was missing a lot of elements. The second one was better than the first one, but it still never hit. It was actually the one of the guys that helped develop the PS4 infrastructure. Not Mark Cerny. That's not his name. I don't remember. He looked very nerdy, but he helped develop the infrastructure for the PS4, I think, at the time, and he also was one of the developers or like the directors or whatever for NAC 1 and 2.
That's pretty cool.
NAC 2 ended up being better, but like I really liked that whole like collect a whole bunch of these shapes and then turn into like a bigger form of himself.
I mean, I never played it, but
no, neither have I, but I've seen like the gameplay of it. It looked cool to me, you know?
Oh yeah. It did. It was just different from, like I said, it's just different from all the realism and mainstream gaming that's going on.
Yeah. Like, you know what I don't see enough of? I don't see enough of platformers. More platformers.
They used to be big back in the day.
Bro, I love
me. I feel like everybody was doing the platformer.
Because it's not the trend. And I think that's what people, like, that's what AAA games, that's what game companies are going for. They're going for what's trending. And what's trending right now is like open world
multiplayer games,
world multiplayer,
open world
loot boxes, microtransactions, extractions, battle royales. Those are the games that are trending right now. So it's like that's what people are making.
Yeah.
Or live service is also what people are going for. The studio who made Turtle Rock. Well, Turtle Rock is the studio that made Suicide Squad, right?
Isn't that Rocksteady?
Or yeah, Rocksteady. Turtle Rock is somebody else.
It might be this. Go ahead.
Wow, you're on your phone a lot this podcast. Well, Warner Brothers helped produce the game, I'm pretty sure. And they had said like, yeah, we're going to continue looking to live service games.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
wow.
You just...
Yeah, I heard that.
You just found out that your live service game has had an all-time low of like 300 or 30,000 players or 3,000 players, and you still want to make a live service game? That's not where the future is, dude. Like, come on. You're reading the room wrong.
Turtle Rock.
That's what I said.
Evolve.
2 ass games. They're striking out, but they
no Suicide Squad.
Oh.
They made Back 4 Blood.
Okay.
Evolve, Left 4 Dead.
Okay.
And
I thought Valve made
CS:GO.
They made some good games, but
they made some good games.
Well, no, I mean Turtle Rock is a recognized a good game studio, but it's
Well, yeah.
Well, talking about that in general makes me frustrated, which brings us to the next point: gamer frustration.
What is it? What's your frustration?
Well, what's yours?
My frustration is, I mean, we pretty much talked about it already all throughout this podcast, but my frustration mainly is the following of the trends. I mean, you let off with the Warner Bros. And the live service.
Mm-hmm.
Is almost like when a game gets announced, you kind of in your head you kind of have categories already where to put them.
Yeah,
like I have to see a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like back then it was you see a trailer, this is gonna be the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now you have to see a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's like my heart is broken, and I can't trust these companies that I held up so high.
Yeah,
and I just can't. I can't trust them. I wish I could.
Yeah, but
I can't bring myself up to it. And every game that they put out, I have to doubt it. And it's crazy because the more games that come out, and let's say people don't buy them or they wait.
Yeah.
I feel like the more desperate they feel to put out another game and it's ass. And then the more desperate, this was going to be it. This was going to be it. And people know. People are not stupid.
No. I mean, like I said earlier too, like gamers getting tired of it. Like they're getting to a point where they're tired of spending $70 on a game. You know what, one thing we didn't mention on here that I had just thought about when you were talking earlier?
Well,
the one thing that frustrates me of all time, one of the things that out of all of these things that frustrates me is installing games. Like, like legitimately, not just like from scale in terms of like the amount of features, the amount of like DLC, the story planning, like all that stuff. Not just that, but I mean like the amount of storage it takes up on your console, and then you have to install it, and then you have to wait for it to update, and like
that's frustration.
bro, I'm tired. Like I love a lot of these games that are coming out, but I'm tired of having to play, having to wait.
It's been too long.
Yeah, I'm tired of having to put in a game or download a game and then literally like I have to wait 5 hours or the next day in order to play the game. It's like I bought this game. I want to play it now. Like why? Like games have gotten so big, it's out of control. Like, and then GTA 6, I guarantee you that it's going to be no exception. That I guarantee you, 120 gigs minimum,
unless they stream it. What if bro?
Why would they stream it?
Huh?
Why would they stream it?
I don't know. For some reason, I can see us venturing into that. Like strictly, in a game that would pioneer that shit, I feel like that can be GTA.
Yeah, but you need to have the tech for it.
Huh?
You need to have the technology.
They already have the tech.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not, but
okay. Well,
they can do it.
Okay, well, let me ask you: have you tried playing your PlayStation from your phone with the remote play on your phone?
It sucks.
Why?
Because it's delayed and shit.
Right, the latency on it.
Yeah, but I mean streaming from their PlayStation. Like, have you played Xbox Game Pass?
Yeah, there's a latency on that too. I've tried that, and
really,
there's latency on that.
Like, I don't remember having that on the Series X.
You have to. Well, I'm talking about if you're like playing Game Pass, like not in a stable internet connection. I'm talking about like if you're playing on the go.
No. I'm talking streaming on the console.
What about streaming on your phone?
Yeah, but I'm talking on the console straight up.
And I'm talking about on the phone, because on your phone it's ass.
Oh, it is. It is. But I'm saying like
there still is.
In order to eliminate the whole issue with the storage, I bet you they're going to propose streaming it, because I think it was one of the Ubisoft guys says that they said that
you're gonna have to get comfortable.
You're gonna have to get comfortable with not owning your game. And obviously, they're talking about streaming games.
Right. I mean, if music and movies have gone towards streaming, video games are the next thing. But like, we haven't even gotten to digital yet, and we're trying to stream like already. Like, I feel like that's what I mean. They're ripping the Band-Aid off very quickly.
But I feel like that would be the way to go from physical.
Yeah.
Because movies, you didn't get to buy them physical, and people don't. I mean, yeah, you got to buy them physical, then you got to buy them digital. But what really set it apart? The streaming.
Right. But you have to make the streaming extremely good. You have to make it like seamless. I mean, look at Google Stadia. Google Stadia didn't stick around for very long, but that's partially because Google didn't fully embrace that platform.
Yeah, I forgot that existed.
Yeah. See, it's rest in peace, Google Stadia. But I don't know, dude. I think
I don't know. I really think that the streaming is going to take. I mean, you're going to pay. You have to pay some. I wonder if it's. Do you think they're going to include it in the subscription,
like PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live? PlayStation technically already had a streaming service, but they canceled it even
higher.
PlayStation Plus is already extremely high.
I know.
Like I couldn't imagine paying any more for it.
I know, but every game that comes out, you got it. That kind of sucks because if we're talking about all the games coming out right now, and I know I would be paying like a monthly subscription for them.
Yeah. Could you imagine Game Pass coming to PlayStation?
Wow. Yeah, I can imagine that. But at this point, like we talked earlier, like if you have most of those games, all you would be looking forward to is exclusives from Xbox.
Right. You know, the one thing I kind of don't really like about these game catalogs that PlayStation Plus and Xbox come out with on a monthly basis. Do you want me to repeat that, or you?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So the one thing I don't like is like a lot of these games that are coming out, they're either games that I've already played.
Yep.
Or the games are ass. Like, and I have no desire to play them. And like, think about it. Like, unless they're putting brand new games on there, like I'm rarely downloading them. Rarely.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's like a gym membership for a gym that you never go.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I'm not really getting the full use out of PlayStation Plus.
Yeah,
just because there's
the game catalog.
There's games that I've already played, or games that I have no interest in, or games that were just like I've never even heard of, and I'm like I don't want to play that. Like the game is dumb. But yeah, I mean I I think we have so much pent up frustration from a lot of these things that are going on. Something's going to have to give. But I think the one thing that we're going to have to give the most on is the ending of the LeisureHub podcast. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
You're doing this too often.
Okay. I'll settle down with it.
I was like this. I was waiting on it.
He gave me the mom look when you ever see that meme where it's like mom knows, or when mom gets you the PS5 and she knows she got you like the good gift for Christmas.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm
talking to the ghost. Talking to the ghost over there.
Yeah.
Here you go. It's doing the.
Yeah.
I'll have to put up the meme right there. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the latest episode of the LeisureHub podcast. This has been, what's the title of this one again? I forgot.
Size does matter when it comes to games.
When it comes to games. We have been your hosts, Justin and
Pedro.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Little side note, we recorded 3 episodes today. First ever.
Confetti.
We'll catch you guys on the next one. How? The world's riding on your shoulders, Pedro.
The world is riding on my shoulders, Justin. It's all right. I can take the burden.
They'll have to migrate to your head.
Migrate?
Yep.
Why?
Move up. Keep your head warm.
Okay.
Why? If your shoulders get too full, they'll need a new place to stay. And your hair is like a barren.
My hair? I don't have hair.
Your head is like a barren wasteland.
A bear? A barren wasteland?
Your head is like a barren wasteland. Nothing's there.
Damn, that's fucked up. Yeah, there is.
Like what?
It's like grasslands. Like it's fuzz.
Fuzz?
Barely. It's like moss.